Once you find yourself in conflict with a narcissist, it's a virtual guarantee they're going to start playing head games with you. That's why I put together a new course. It's very extensive called Anger Games. I'm going to teach you how to manage anger and conflict with a narcissist. There's a link below that's going to show you how to register, and I hope that you find it to be very insightful. Each one of us, as we go through our lives, wants to have experiences of happiness. I know I do. I assume you do too. One of the things we know about the pattern of narcissism is it's not conducive to ongoing, consistent happiness. Now, short term, they can have their moments where they laugh and have a good time. But in their world, happiness is tied to having a sense of prestige or being in a favored position with other individuals. They want to have their jollies. They want to have fun. They want to have laughter and a good time. Okay, I'm all for that. In fact, I kind of like that. But along with that, they have a craving for power and dominance, and there's a very selfish drive that goes along with them. And it's a challenge for them to maintain happiness on an ongoing basis. You see, in the mind of a narcissist, their idea of happiness is having their ego needs propped up. In other words, I get my way, and I don't particularly care about what happens to everybody else. And long term, that's not going to be happy. Let's keep in mind that there's an insight that narcissists just don't get. Happiness is not a destination. Happiness is a byproduct. Now, did you pick up on that? When narcissists treat happiness as a destination, it's like, I'm going to go grab me some of that. I'm going to make it happen, and I'm going to make sure that I get everything I want, as opposed to thinking, I want to live a good life, and I want to live life in a way that's coordinated well with others, and waiting for me at the end, the product, is happiness. You see, everything on the inside of the pattern of narcissists is antithetical to the whole concept of happiness. Their interior is in disarray. For example, they have a natural-born selfishness, which is driven by the neurotic craving to be in the favored position. These individuals want and need to control other individuals because they have a fear of being irrelevant. They crave being superior, which is little more than them covering up their hidden feelings of inadequacy. They're very willing to use and manipulate other individuals because they don't want to be ignored. It's like, no, you pay attention to me. They're known for constructing a false self. They're known for hiding behind what we call alternate reality, which is their way of implying, I'm afraid to be vulnerable. I don't want to be exposed. That's what's going on inside the narcissist, and that's the pattern they bring to the equation. Now, let me just ask you plain and simple. Does that sound like a really good formula for happiness? There are certain challenges that I would like to issue to the narcissist. Now, whether they're going to receive it or not is a whole different story. That would give us an idea of what would have to happen for them in order to find the happiness they say they want. And as we look at these, I'm hoping that you and I can receive the challenges in a really healthy way. The first challenge that I would offer to that narcissist in pursuit of happiness is, number one, get over yourself. Life does not exist strictly for you. The more you emphasize me, then you're going to be really disappointed, because not everybody in your world out there thinks, well, okay, since this is you in the middle of the room, let's make sure we take care of everything. In their world, they have such a need for positive reinforcement that they can't stand it when they don't get it, and that self-absorption just takes over. Another challenge that these individuals would have, and that is, when you make decisions and as you engage with others, stay conscientious. Now, when we say conscientious, we talk about you making your decisions fully appreciating that you're in the presence of other individuals. And so you want to have a certain amount of common courtesy and decency and consideration toward other individuals. When you make plans, you want to do so with others' needs in mind. You want to be reliable. Narcissists won't go there either, because it's like, yeah, I want you to be conscientious. You need to be aware of what's going on in me, but they don't reverse it. And so their lack of conscientiousness ultimately sabotages true happiness. Now, in addition, and this is a really large one, when we look at finding happiness, we want to make sure that it's driven by internal ingredients. Narcissists are very externally based. When we talk about internal ingredients, we're talking about having a sense of inner contentment and peace, inner steadiness, etc., like I've mentioned. But to them, it's like, well, if I get external validation, if I look good, if people treat me in favored kinds of ways, and they'll go after superficial evidences that says, hey, I'm a somebody, I've arrived, then I feel happy. But that's going to burn off really quickly. Do you have a mindset that says my life is going somewhere, it's going somewhere good, and many people are going to benefit along the way? Having said that, another challenge that they would have is to remind themselves that happiness is a byproduct of investing well in other individuals. There's one study after another in research that shows that altruism or volunteerism or kindness or goodness or servitude of a healthy way is very, very strongly linked to a life well lived. These individuals don't really want to do that. It's like, okay, maybe short term they'll try to take care of someone else or tend to their needs, but long term it's like, oh, do I have to? And they want you to cater to them, but they don't really think in terms of investing long term in other individuals. Now, there's another challenge that they have to have in order to find happiness, and that is, I would say, you need to tame your anger. It's not very common to be really, really happy when you have really, really strong anger on the inside. How many times have you been around that narcissistic person you think it's one statement away from me saying the wrong thing and they're going to get ticked off? Or if I don't have the right look on my face, or if I don't share the exact same opinions, they're going to get mad. You know how they get. And in doing so, they cut themselves off from being an encouraging person or a forgiving person. They don't really care that much about those things. It's like, look, I'm angry right now and I got to get you in line. I got to control you and all. And, you know, it's not going to end well. Another challenge they have is to drop the criticism, drop the cynicism, drop the general negativity that they carry. By the way, when we talk about narcissism and criticism, it's actually, their criticism is a grown-up's way of whining. It's a grown-up's way of just pouting. It's like, well, I don't like this, and I wish you'd quit doing that. Well, you know what? Maybe things just don't go your way. You don't need to just look for things to be mad at, but some of them are experts at that, and you'll notice that they're very good, if you want to call it a skill, at finding out what's wrong with whatever's in front of them today. And then another challenge they have is, I would say, you're going to need to knock off this business of superiority. You're not superior. We all have different needs. We all have different ingredients. We all have a different backstory. But each person has the right to be treated as an equal, as someone who has every bit as much worth as someone else. And the narcissist thinks, well, then you didn't get the right memo because I need to be treated as in the top position. You know, I just go by the old golden rule, and it's a rule that's in every so many civilizations. Treat others the way you want to be treated. You know, that one. And then also the challenge they would have is make sure that you're open to other people's feedback. Listen. You know, there are times when you may have certain things going on that didn't really fit well, and someone can say, hey, I've got something to share with you that might improve your lot in life. And they're thinking is, I don't need to listen to you. Okay, then stay stuck. That's their problem. They don't listen. They don't receive input. They don't feel a need to grow. They think of themselves as being a finished product. The only thing that's unfinished is you doing their bidding. So that's the challenge. Their composure, their makeup is such that they can have maybe short-term experiences of happiness, but all of this other disarray just continues to get in the way. And by the way, you'll notice that sometimes even when they do seem interested in helping you out or giving, it's always got a hook on the end of it. It can't just be offered in an unconditional kind of way. One of the things that hinders narcissists from happiness, and a challenge they have, is that they don't like the key ingredients that go along with sustaining happiness. Some of those key ingredients would be consideration of other individuals. Being flexible and not having to have everything your way. Think, okay, I can be different and maybe I'll learn something new. Having a sense of humility, having an acceptance of your own limitations, your limitations and my limitations. Those are characteristics that's like, no, I don't do that. Likewise, part of the problem that hinders them is they have way too much paranoia that they draw upon. In other words, they're constantly wondering, are you coming against me today? I think you are. And so they don't trust, and they have a built-in pessimism. And then in addition, they're steeped in a judgmental attitude. They're constantly trying to figure out how they compare and contrast to other individuals, and they have problems with envy and jealousy and all, which then again inhibits them from having their happiness. So there they have it. They have a challenge if they really want to get to that place of happiness. But you know what tends to occur when they begin getting to the place of saying, I'm not happy today? They start looking outward as opposed to looking inward with that sense of meaning. It's like, what have you done now to make me not happy? And so they put all that focus on you, and inevitably you're not going to be the one that says, oh, great master, I need to figure out how to make you happy today. That's my job today. Nobody wants to do that, but they don't get that. That's where we go back to step number one, get over yourself. Narcissists have too much pathology on the inside, but I'm hoping you can examine who you are and to remind yourself, I do want to be a person of goodness. I do want to be a person that attends to the needs of other individuals. I stand for dignity, respect, and civility. And when we say happiness is a byproduct, the more you are able to live into that kind of alternative way of life, happiness is waiting for you. And you can find it. You can relish in it and be glad that you're the kind of person you are. The narcissist is over there saying, give me some of that. And it's like, no, you have to do it in a right kind of way. You have a challenge, and their challenge is to make you responsible for them. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. So the challenge they have is, Mr. and Mrs. Narcissist, are you driven by selfishness? Are you driven by altruism and the love that goes along with it? I hope that videos such as this can give you some awareness of what you're dealing with. Here on our Surviving Narcissism channel, we're constantly trying to look for ways to give you insights. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, I would encourage you to do so. We're going to keep more videos coming towards you. You know that there are times when you're trying to sift all this out that it can be good to find a therapist that can help you out. I've been sponsored for years by the people at BetterHelp.com. There's a link below that will take you to their website, and there's a whole team of licensed professional therapists there, and they would want to break it down with you, asking you questions and getting your backstory, which is nice to know, and know that somebody wants to do that. They can walk you through how to find that and gain insights. If the need is there, please get the help that you would need. We have the link below. Also, I'm retired from my therapy practice, but what I've been putting together courses, and we have plenty of them now to offer to you. The latest one, and each course has like 25 teaching videos, with each video has handouts, quite a bit there that go along with them, and guided questions, and they're all going in a certain direction, therapeutic direction with you. We have, my newest is called Anger Games. It's how not to get sucked into the games that they want to pull you into when they're in conflict. We also have This Is Me, about finding yourself, Free to Be, establishing your boundaries, Ready, Set, Connect, about finding good connection skills. In addition, on my website, I have access to my webinars, which are 90-minute presentations of a very different nature, along with access to my podcast, many articles, my books. So we have plenty of resources for you. I want you to be happy, but I want you to see it's not a destination. It's not something you go get. It's a byproduct. And I hope that as you commit yourself to goodness, dignity, respect, and civility, you'll find that not only is happiness waiting for you at the end, but you can also be a person of steadiness, and you can be a person of peace.